Hey, what is going on, everybody? This is Beanie, and welcome back to another video. Guys, they just released the Diamond Dynasty stream, and I literally have like 6 fucking pages of notes and shit to go over, and there's just no way that I can do it in one video. So what I've decided is that I'm gonna make a video tonight, I'm gonna make 2 to 3 videos tomorrow to upload, and I'm gonna make another video or 2 on Saturday that covers every single thing that they went through in the Diamond Dynasty stream in depth and give you my take on it. And I gotta tell you, spoiler alert, SDS is out of their mind. They are killing it right now. They have done everything that I've wanted and more. Things that I didn't even realize that I wanted in Diamond Dynasty. It's been amazing. The final thing, if gameplay is good, this is going to be the best iteration of MLB The Show ever, period. But gameplay, that's a huge hurdle. So we're just going to have to see where it falls. You know, we're going to have to get the game in our hands. But right now, I am so hyped for this game. It reminds me of MLB 15, MLB 16, just how hype I was for those games. That's the feeling that I'm getting right now. So, but today, we are going to be going over the roster reveal. They did a brand new roster reveal of the top 3 players at every single position on the field, and I'm gonna show those to you, and we're gonna talk about them a little bit, and that's what we're gonna be doing today. Tomorrow we're gonna go over the special edition diamonds that were revealed, and we're going to talk about them. Also, once they reveal the final 10, because so far they've only released 20, whenever they release the final 10 next week, I'm going to do a video ranking the entire special edition diamonds to let you guys know which ones are the best and which ones you should maybe think about picking up whenever you get your hands on the game. So look out for that in about a week once those are revealed. Also tomorrow we will be talking about the new legends that they revealed. We will be talking about the signature series that they've come out with, which sounds like a way better idea than the Immortals were last year. We're going to talk about lineup diversity and how they're making that a big focus this year. We're going to talk about the programs and the exchanges and the moments and all the different ways that Diamond Dynasty has improved over the course of the next 3 days. But like I said, today we're going to be talking about rosters. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so first, the top 3 catchers in the game. As you can see, no diamonds. There is not a diamond catcher in MLB The Show 19 starting out, at least not a live series one. And that was kind of surprising to me. Even though JT Realmuto is on the Phillies, and I hate the Phillies, I have to recognize that that dude's a diamond level player, right? I mean, he has to be at least an 85. I mean, he has so much speed, he hits really well. Now, he's not the best framer, and defensively, I wouldn't give him that much credit and everything, but golly, you would think he would be a diamond. I mean, he's just so good. Buster Posey is understandable. You know, he's had his struggles and injuries and stuff. That's fine. He deserves to be down in the gold area. And then Wilson Ramos as well. He's a great hitting catcher, but he's only okay defensively, even though I think he's a surprisingly good framer, but he's also just a gold level guy. I am kind of surprised that they put Wilson Ramos over Yasmani Grandal, who is, if you guys don't know, one of the best defensive catchers in baseball. No, he's definitely the best defensive catcher in baseball because he's solid at throwing and blocking and all that, even though he had some hiccups in the postseason. He's an elite framer, and framing is way more important than anything else in real baseball. And he's also a great hitter and also a switch hitter. So if it were me, I would have put probably Yasmani Grandal all the way up to 2, and then maybe Buster Posey at 3, but they did this, and I'm fine with it for the most part, but I think Realmuto should be a diamond, and Grandal should probably be number 2 on the list. Next up, they did the top 10 first basemen, and they kind of copped out because there's been a big debate in baseball about who the top first baseman in baseball is, whether it's Paul Goldschmidt, Anthony Rizzo, Joey Votto, or Freddie Freeman, or a few others will get a mention every now and then. But mostly it's been those 3 to 4. And they just kind of said, okay, we're going to throw our hands up. These top 3 guys, they're tied. They're all 85s. Fuck you. We're not going to say who's the best. Even though they did rank Freddie Freeman at the top as the #1 first baseman, I think that's him and Goldie are pretty close. I would definitely have Votto at #3, which they did. But as far as their ratings go, they're all an 85. There really isn't much of a difference between any of them in terms of overall. So yeah, that's your top 3 first basemen. I'm pretty happy with the list. As a Braves fan, overall, I was really happy with the way that their top 3s went, because the Braves got a good bit of love, you know, where I didn't think they would get it. Speaking of that love, here is another place where the Braves got it. At #3 is Ozzie Albies, the 3rd best second baseman according to MLB The Show. I was very surprised by that, because even though he tore it up in the first half of last season, he kind of struggled a little bit down the stretch. I think he had like a 650 OPS, like way worse against righties. He just couldn't hit righties for shit last year. But he's still, overall, he had like almost a 4-WAR season, I think. He's a great second baseman. I think that it's reasonable to put him at 3rd, but I do think you can make some arguments for other people. At second place at second, they put Whit Merrifield. That's a solid choice. As really, when you think about it, it's only he's only like one of 2 or 3 assets that the Kansas City Royals really have right now. That franchise is in kind of rough shape right now. Probably the only team that's in worse shape than them is the Royals. Not the Royals, the Orioles. But yeah, Whit Merrifield, he's box office, man. He is a great player. I don't think he should be diamond level, definitely. He's not quite at that level. Doesn't really have enough power, or he doesn't do anything outstanding enough to warrant diamond level, but he should be kind of an upper tier gold, because he does everything you know, pretty above averagely, and he's really fast. I think he led the league in stolen bases last year. Really solid player. And then at #1, obviously, it's going to be Jose Altuve. Even though he kind of had a down year last year, he's still the best second baseman in baseball. There's really no doubt about it. Let's move on to 3rd. At 3rd base, probably the deepest position in baseball, you have the 87 overall Manny Machado coming in at 3rd. You have the 88 overall Jose Ramirez coming in at 2nd, and then the 90 overall Nolan Arenado coming in at 1st. It seems like the ratings have been kind of suppressed up to this point. It feels like last year there may have been more guys that would have cracked 90. Maybe that was just because of the way it worked out last year. There may have been more players at that elite tier. But yeah, it seems like they're being very stingy with their 90 overall, or, you know, like 90 plus overalls. But Nolan Arenado, I believe, is the first one that we've seen to crack 90 overall. And definitely well-deserved. One of the best hitters in baseball, one of the best defensive players in baseball, all-around superstar. Also, you can say the same thing about Jose Ramirez, even though he's not quite as good defensively, kind of makes up for it with his versatility. And then Manny Machado, somebody explain something to me. Why does Manny Machado insist on playing shortstop? I know he just got paid. I know he's like living well, and maybe he'll play 3rd base next year. I don't know. But why was he so gung-ho on that? Is he just a brain-dead moron that can't look up defensive metrics and see that he's an awful shortstop defensively and that he's an elite 3rd baseman defensively? I just don't get it. Somebody explain that to me. Dude, if you were like gung-ho on playing 3rd base, you'd be like one of the most valuable players in baseball. But no, you got to be a shortstop, because chicks only fuck shortstops, apparently. You know, if you're a $300 million 3rd baseman, you can't get as much pussy, I guess. I don't fucking know. Top 3 shortstops in MLB The Show 19. Andrelton Simmons coming in at #3 on the back of his legendary defense. In my opinion, the greatest defensive baseball player of all time. Already, he has it locked up throw away the key. He's the best. There is not a defensive player in baseball that I think can ever compete with Andrelton Simmons. Not Brooks Robinson, not Ozzie Smith, not Andrew Jones, not, you know, any of those guys. Nah. Andrelton Simmons, if you look at his metrics and what he's done over the course of his career, it almost makes me feel like SDS should should let the attributes go up to 125 for fielding and arm strength and all that, just for Andrelton Simmons, because if there's anybody that deserves 125 fielding, it's him. So yeah, he is definitely deserves to be there just on the back of his defense. He's not going to be the greatest hitter in the world. I mean, that power is pretty ugly, but if you're looking for a defensive guru, and defense is going to be really important this year, Andrelton might be your guy. And then behind him, or ahead of him, at number 2 is Javier Baez. Obvious guy, had a monster season last year. I mean, you know, he's emerging as one of the best young players in baseball, so good for him. And then at number 1 we have Francisco Lindor. Francisco Lindor, how long has he been in the league? Because it feels like he just got into the league like 2 years ago, but I guess he's been in the league for like 5 or 6 years now. I don't really know. I'm trying to think. But yeah, he's one of the best shortstop, switch hitter, very valuable. He's got some pop. He's got a little bit of speed. He's elite defensively. You know, lots of things to like about Francisco Lindor, but he doesn't crack 90 overall. They are being stingy this year. I know that last year they suppressed 90 their overalls and everything, but it's pretty surprising that there is only 190 overall infielder in the entire game. Like, that's being really strict, man. But, you know, it is what it is. How was Ronald Acuna not a diamond? Come on, SDS. Give Ronald Acuna the diamond. There's never been a rookie do what he did last year. Come on. Have you seen what he's doing in spring training? He's like 8 for his last 8 with like 3 home runs or some shit. He's murdering the ball. He's gonna... fucking Giancarlo Stanton and JD Martinez... He's going to be pissing on them from atop his pedestal at the end of this year. He's the best left fielder in baseball. Show him some love. No, I'm just kidding. He's a young guy. You know, they are a little reluctant to give out that status to younger guys. And it's honestly, it's fucking amazing that he is in their top 3, because usually a guy that only has, 5 months in the MLB, he's not going to get that kind of love. So, you know, it's a pretty special player whenever he can crack the top 3 at a position, you know, just in a few months of service time. And then behind him, you have JD Martinez, and then at number 1, you have Giancarlo Stanton. A lot of pop coming from left field, but once again, nobody cracks 90. 80, nobody even cracked 85 at this position. So yeah, it's gonna be really, really hard to be a 90 overall in MLB The Show. So yeah, I in fact, like, we only have 1 so far. Yeah, only 1. Let's change that. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. There he is, the 94 overall Mike Trout, coming in as the number 1 center fielder. Behind him, you have Starling Marte and Lorenzo Cain, kind of speedy guys, not really all that power-oriented, but still really solid players. Yeah, center field, man, it seems like just a couple years ago, it was one of the stronger positions in baseball, but this, outside of Mike Trout and Starling Marte and Lorenzo Cain, they're really good, but it does feel like it's maybe a little weaker than it has been in years past. You know, when we had like McCutchen tearing it up and all that. But, you know, Lorenzo Cain at an 83, I think that might be selling him a bit short, because he did have like a really good year last year, and I think you could make an argument that he deserves like an 85 diamond, because he was destroying the ball last year. By the way, if you were wondering what that sound was, my notebook fell, my hand caught this piece of paper and just fucking ripped it out, so now I have to find a place to put these notes where I won't fucking forget them. Good job, me. Okay, and rounding out the positional players, we have right field, and for some reason they decided to do 4, which totally ruined the framing that I was going for here. But what are you gonna do? I mean, that they wanted to release 4 right fielders, so here we go. I guess they just didn't want to like leave Harper out or something. But you have I guess Yelich. They have Christian Yelich at 4th, which is crazy. I think Bryce Harper had like 1.8 B-WAR last year. Christian Yelich was fucking MVP. Show the brothers some love, man. He's an 88 at least. So yeah, Yelich at 4th, Harper at 3rd, as an 86 overall. That I just wonder. I don't know, Bryce. According to F4, if you kind of dismiss his defensive blunders last year, he was still a diamond level player, but still he was really bad defensively, and they still have him at like 61 fielding. Like, he might need to be lower than that, yo. Like, he was one of the worst defensive outfielders, and if he played center or right, he was equally bad at both spots. But maybe they need to see a little bit more before they demote him like that much further, you know. But obviously he's still going to be a diamond because he puts up like 900 OPSs, like, you know, it's nothing. So yeah, he comes in at 3rd, and then Aaron Judge after him, and then hey, another 90 plus overall, Mookie Betts, the 2nd best player in the game so far. In fact, I think overall he's the 2nd best player in the game. So yeah, 92 Mookie Betts. That card is a monster, and I know you can't see because of my head. Look at that fielding and that arm strength and that reaction. It is maxed out all the way. The one thing that kind of sucks about this card is the low power versus righties, but it seems like this year you're going to be able to get by with guys that don't have elite power, that they're very viable. So he still should be a very valuable card nonetheless. Okay, now getting into the pitching. I think this is the first year that Clayton Kershaw hasn't been featured in the top 3 at starting pitcher, which is nuts to think about. Just a couple years ago, he was clear cut. He had been the best pitcher in baseball for like 4 years. But he is out, and replacing him, we have Jacob deGrom coming in at number 3, the Cy Young winner, Chris Sale at number 2, and then Max Scherzer at number 3. And God bless, dude, the pitching in the NL East is going to be so damn good next year. Ugh, fuck. I hate being a Braves fan sometimes. As soon as we get good, everybody's just like, okay, we're just going to go out and spend $300 million to catch up with you. And then the other team's like, oh, we'll spend $250 million. That'll work for us. Then the other team was like, okay, we'll just trade away every prospect we have plus $150 million. And yeah, so there you go, Braves. Your move. Braves look at them in their eye, and they raise them. We're going to fucking sign Brian McCann and Nick Markakis, motherfuckers. What are you going to do about that? Oh, and Josh Donaldson. Okay, Josh Donaldson is that's a pretty good signing if he stays healthy, but still, you get what I'm saying. It's been a disappointing offseason for us Braves fans. Top 3 relief pitchers. They separated out relief pitchers and closing pitchers, which is the right thing to do because it's separated out in the game. Number 3, you have Chad Green for the New York Yankees. Amazing bullpen. God, that bullpen is still just unbelievable. Then you have Josh Hader. 85 overall Josh Hader, and then 87 overall Andrew Miller. It's actually really surprising to me that they have Andrew Miller at an 87 overall. He wasn't, I don't think he wasn't like played up to an 87 overall rating last year. I figured that Hader would have been number 1 on this list, but you know, what can you do? I mean, maybe they would just want to see just a little bit more to see if he can make a rebound this year. So we'll see. But right now they have him at number 1, and let's move on finally to the closing pitchers. And we also have a new face in the closing pitcher department. Obviously, Edwin Diaz is a monster. He deserves probably to be number 1 on this list, but he comes in at number 2. Kenley Jansen gets the top spot, and Aroldis Chapman rounds out the 3. I think they got this one right. This one feels right. You know, Chapman, he's not as dominant as he once was, but he's still elite. Edwin Diaz is on the up and coming. Kenley Jansen is still very dominant, but he does have some health concerns. You know, that whole weird heart thing that he had, that was really scary for a while. It looked like he was like Like, he might die or some shit. But he recovered, and he was still really good. So yeah, that is it, everybody. Those are your top threes at every single position. Once more player ratings are released and everything, I might do before the game releases, I might do a top 10 overall live series players, and then maybe a top 10 overall flashback / legend that we've seen so far that have been revealed. I know for sure that I'm going to be doing next week. I'll be doing a top 30, or like I'll be ranking the 30 special edition diamonds that are going to be revealed. They've revealed so far, they've revealed 20 of them. We'll go over all of that tomorrow. I've got a lot of videos coming out tomorrow, probably 3. But they're revealing 10 more next week, and once all of those are out, I'm gonna have a video ranking all 30 of them to let you guys know what you should and maybe you should not get whenever you get your copy of MLB The Show, so you'll kind of know where to go with it. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it. Be on the lookout for the next couple days for content on this channel, because a lot of it is going to be coming out. So anyways, guys, I'm hyped. I hope you're hyped. I hope this is the year that MLB The Show, the community really starts to blow up. I start to blow up. And yeah, let's pray together that that's the case. But anyways, guys, I love y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. But until then, peace.